Mama, when did this all start? When did you get the bite?
It started by an abscess on my foot. I went to the hospital the third day, and after an injection, my foot was swollen, and the fourth day, it became a big wound. So for 3 years, I've been treating it.
Mama, when you met us last month, what did your wound look like at that time?
It was a big wound and very painful, but with your medicine, it's getting better and almost healed.
We first met Essi in one of our mobile clinics about 4 weeks ago in a little village called Togo, and I had the privilege of working on her wound. We found out through talking to her that she'd had the wound for over 2 years, and it was a very large ulcer on the top of her foot, encompassing nearly the entire top of the foot. She had pain in her toes all the way up to her knee. There was swelling and infection all around the site and all the way up to her knee, and it was very bad. The flesh had been eaten away almost down to the bone, and she was in real danger of losing her foot, or worse, she could have had the infection move to her bloodstream, and she potentially could die. So it was a very serious situation. It was too painful for her to work on at first, and she was feeling sick as well. So she went to lie down, and we had to wait a while to see her again. After lunch at that clinic, we went to work on her in her home, and we spent many hours cleaning the wound and cutting away dead skin. She had packed some type of herbal leaf into the wound, and it had crusted very hard around the outside, and it took many hours to soften it and peel it away. At one point, she didn't want to continue because it was too painful. So we gave her some paracetamol for the pain and gave it time to kick in. And during that time, we explained to her that her wound was very serious. It was putting her foot in danger. She could very well lose her foot. And worse, it was almost to the bone, and it could get into her bloodstream, and eventually she could die. And after that, she was like a different woman. She understood, I think, the seriousness of the situation, and she withstood the pain. She allowed us to work, and it was a totally different situation. And so we were able to clean and disinfect and bandage the wound, and she was very, very thankful. And then 2 weeks later, we were able to see her again. We were in a different village up the road from her village called Dokplala, and she walked all the way from her village to be seen again in our clinic. She must have heard that we were there and came to see the people in the clinic. And once again, we were able to work on her and rebandage her wound, and it looked much better than the first time. Some healing was definitely taking place. Years ago, we were able to visit Essi in her home, and at this point, it had been 4 weeks since we had first seen her, and the healing taking place was truly miraculous.
I mean, this is miraculous, really, because there wasn't. You see here where there's contraction on this side?
Yep. Oh.
This here is how it was healing before, and you can see the same thing with her toes. Mama, how are your toes?
Oh.
It's no more painful.
No more pain?
No more pain.
She had pain down her toes?
Oh, she had tons of pain. I couldn't even touch that
Here
toe.
was excruciating pain?
Yeah.
Did it come up to here?
Up her leg, yeah.
It
It was all the way up to her knee. And she felt it in here. Every time I touched, she would wince.
Did you see gangrene?
No.
No,
I
okay,
hadn't
hadn't
seen
moved
it,
to
no.
that yet.
No, but all of this was retracting. You can see where it's
Where it's
pulling.
completely
And this
healed
here,
now.
where it's healing, This is no longer contracting. It's amazing. There's actually skin forming.
There was now flesh where there wasn't flesh before. There was skin forming where there was no skin left. I mean, the ulcer had eaten away all of her flesh, and it was down nearly to the bone. And now there was nice bright red flesh, lots of blood flow, and new pink skin forming around the outside. The wound was much smaller than before, maybe about half the size, and only encompassed a small area near her ankle instead of the whole top of her foot. And it was really encouraging to see that, you know, some simple wound care and some prayer of some faithful people could really make a difference, not just in the wound but in Essi. The wound was different, yes, but Essi was different too. Her countenance was different, her energy was up, and she was walking better, and she really was a different woman. And it was so encouraging to see that God hadn't forgotten her. Essi's wound at the moment is still open, but we've given her an invitation to come here to the base in Nowepe, to the clinic here, at any time, and she can have her wound attended. And I know, I'm confident that her wound will be completely healed in a short time. There are many ways to be a part of a story like Essi's. Whether you're the person actually working on the wound, that you take the time to do a school like IPHC and gain the skills necessary to be able to care for her wound, or whether you're the person who sends money to missionaries all over the world so that they can be the hands and feet of Jesus, that they can be there present with the Essis of the world, and or whether you're someone who is involved in intercessory prayer, whether you pray for those people who are hurting and suffering around the world and asking God to come and relieve their suffering, because God knows and He cares and He wants you to be a part of it.